everyone, and welcome to the second feature race of the 2014 Mopar Canadian National Superbike Championships, the Pro Superbike feature event from Autodrome, Saint-Eustache, Quebec. I'm your series announcer, Frank Wood. Coverage of this round in the Mopar CSBK National Tour is presented by Magneti Marelli, Dunlop, and Bell Helmets. Okay, allow me to introduce the grid to you then. Now, some of these riders have been riding in the 600 sport bike class, and with the heat and attrition, what have you, but we will read the grid as presented to us. Scheduled to start from position 15 rather, is the number 17, Capstan Haulage and Pro Cycle sponsored Caleb Noyles out of New Brunswick. Alongside him was scheduled Eli DeCache on the 53, Kenny Reedman on the 42, and Philippe Massé on the 18. Those motorcyclists are
getting on their bikes.
Are missing from the grid at this point. Louis Raff on the 76 machine was scheduled to start from position number 12, Marco Sousa from position 13, and Hugo Fournier from position number 14. So it looks like our grid consists of from the back of the grid then, on the number 71 machine on the inside, Honda mounted and Honda sponsored number 71 out of Caledon, Ontario, Christopher Garvey. Alongside him out of Terrebonne, Quebec on the race line and Hindle exhaust sponsored number 4 Triumph, J.F. Sear. Then we have Frank Trombito mounted on the Royal Plumbing FDS Racing Aprilia RSV4, he hailing in from Kleinberg, number 31 the Warlord Trombino.
Okay.
Filling out that role, the Speedster from Sarnia, Ontario, mounted on the Yamaha that wears the number 47 with support from Blue Streak Racing, Will Hornblower. We'll move up to the second row now. On row 2, starting on the inside, is the number 87 machine, the Kawasaki, the rider from Gatineau, Quebec, number 87, Stéphane Hull. Alongside him in the middle of the row, starting from P6, mounted on the Kawasaki, from Saint-Lazare, Quebec, with support from OCM, number 711, Franklin Dominguez. And filling out that second row, all Kawasaki's on the second row. From 5th position will start number 24, from Longueuil, Quebec. They call him the Shaker. Support from Moto Nation and Laval Moto, rather, number 24, Sebastian Tremblay. Up to the front row now, scheduled to start on the outside of the front row was Raphael Archambault. He has elected not to run in this race after winning the sport bike class. We'll move then over to the number 116 machine out of Mississauga, Ontario on the One Speed Chop Shop Pro Star sponsored Honda CBR 1000 RR, number 116 T-Rev, Trevor Daly. Alongside him, the Challenger with one national championship win to his credit. Honda Canada and Accelerated Technologies proudly sponsoring number 20 from Keene, Ontario, Jody Christie. And on the pole, mounted on the BMW S1000 RR with support from Ram Trucks and Parts Canada, your champion, ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Jordan Zook. That is your field. 22 laps of racing awaits them.
Okay, revving again.
Starter Chris Chappelle very quickly getting that red flag out to let them know that we're going to hold the field. The field now under starter's orders. It may have been something with the lights. I didn't quite catch that, but Jody Christie certainly did. Now the lights are on. As they blink down, they'll go off, and when they go off, that will indicate to the riders that it's time to let the clutch out. Countdown on the lights. 2, 1. Liftoff. Oh, give me strength. Archambault came off the line very strongly, but Jody Christie passed him very quickly going into turn 1, and that may give Christie a bit of a blocker. Maybe he can get some distance now on Zook and run away with this thing. We'll see how this plays out. We got a long race ahead of us, of course, working lap number 1 of 22, but it is Jody Christie for a certainty that is leading this race down the back straightaway, and I think Raphael Archambault is holding on to second spot, if I am not mistaken. And I am. It's Jordan Zook who comes into the bowl right in behind. Sebastian Tremblay running in third spot. Raphael Archambault in fourth. And Archambault right in front of Franklin Dominguez, just about touching wheels with Sebastian Tremblay. And Frank Trombino's RSV4 Aprilia getting into a big wobble there as he banked over, hitting into turn number 1. And Trombino doing an outstanding job riding a motorcycle that many have said is a little down on horsepower, with the emphasis on little. Zoke runs in second spot, chasing after Jody Christie. And the two of them have sprinted into a huge lead here. Sebastian Tremblay, the shaker on the number 24 machine, holds on to third spot. Fourth is Archambault, rather. Fifth is Dominguez. Sixth is J.R. Sear, if I'm not mistaken. Christopher Garvey in sixth spot. And Frank Trombino, I'll correct myself once more, running in sixth spot, and Trevor Daly has caught up to and passed the Warlord. So Daly on the 116 machine is starting to make his charge toward the front, rather. Daly has a stoked up inner fire that was burning at Shannonville when he scored his first professional podium appearance in the Superbike ranks, and he's carried that momentum, if you will, into the second round. We pick up on Christie once more now. Christie and Zoke both carrying cameras, as is Trevor Daly, and with Daly running back there a bit, it just may be that he'll pick up some of the best footage that we'll see on CSBK.ca. Oh no. Oh no. Daly is running out of power. Trevor Daly's motorcycle is sounding decidedly weak as it came past the start-finish line, and he put up his hand in frustration. It looks like the number 116 machine is beginning to expire. We pick up on our race leaders once more on the back straightaway, coming onto the infield portion as Zoke has a look to the inside, getting a O from the crowd, and he using that Dunlop slick to great advantage, coming in there, closing up the distance and using the brakes. Here comes, oh no, down goes Archambault. Raphael Archambault was crashed out of the race. Oh, goodness gracious. It's Heartbreak Hotel for the Quebec fans now, as Archambault running a very strong race there and looked like he was getting ready to make a pass and move up one position. And sadly, the speedster, Archambault rather, the Terrebonne speedster, has crashed out of this one. Now they'll quickly move that motorcycle out of a danger zone, and obviously we want to get Archambault looked after as well. He did collide with that barrier on the infield. Meanwhile, Zoke has taken the race lead over Christie, and Christie now tucks in behind Zoke to keep pace with him. The shaker Tremblay continues to hold on to third spot. Fourth place is Franklin Dominguez. Fifth place, Frank Trombino. Sixth spot, Trevor Daly. I believe he's still holding on there. No, it isn't. It's J.F. Sear and Hornblower in that order. So unfortunately, Daly, oh wow. Boy, when you got 190 horsepower on tap, Daly having his hands full of that one. Meanwhile, Jody Christie has got his hands full of Jordan Zoke once more as he's tucked in behind the nation's champion for the second time in 2 races. But if anything, oh no, we've got a bad one. We've got a bad one here. It is Franklin Dominguez. As Sebastian Tremblay, Dominguez is up and walking to the pit wall. He's all right. I think, now I can't see it from here, but I think Frank Trombino, if I'm not mistaken, might have been tagged in on that as well. But sadly, our view from this area, there is definitely a second bike being rolled there. Sadly, the view, the sight line rather, from the announcing tower is not such that we can see what the second bike was. But certainly following in the race order, it is Trombino, Frank Trombino and Franklin Dominguez, the 2 riders involved there. And if I'm not mistaken, both of those riders are up and walking under their own power. So we'll pick up on the race action as our third place runner And a very distant third at that is Sebastian Tremblay on the Kawasaki ZX-10R. Laval Moto and Moto Nation sponsoring the Shaker, as they call him, on the number 24 machine, and he holds on to third right now. In first and second now coming into the infield portion. And that, of course, Jordan Zoke on the BMW S1000RR and Jody Christie on the Honda CBR 1000RR. Christie appears to have the horsepower to stay with the BMW. He chases them, and these riders have gotten themselves into a huge lead here, leading over Sebastian Tremblay, and now the battle for fourth spot. The battle for fourth spot with JF Sear, Will Hornblower in the 47 machine. Stefan Uhl and Christopher Garvey. Uhl on the 8.7, Garvey on the 7.1. But no sooner have those riders gone past the front grandstand than our race leaders come into the infield portion once more. Zoke continues to lead. I'll give him 5 to 6 bike lengths coming out onto the bowl. Boy, you couldn't have a better sponsor for a rider that fast than Express Lane. It's obvious that Zoke is in the Express Lane right now and using that 190 horsepower on tap to his advantage. Meanwhile, JF Sear, Christopher Garvey, Will Hornblower, and Stefan Uhl in a titanic four-way battle here for fourth spot. Christie is able to keep equal distance to Zoke, but it looks as though he is unable to close the distance and make a challenge here. Sebastian Tremblay brings it in the infield, and he now a very distant third and in a safe, secure spot. If he maintains proper pace, he should be just fine. Christopher Garvey's the man on the move now. Garvey on the 71 Honda has moved from 5th place right up into 4th. And it looks like he has the better of JF Sear on that Triumph. Stefan Uhl on the Kawasaki and Will Hornblower on the Yamaha. Those are the brands involved in that four-way tussle. But again, it looks like Honda rider Christopher Garvey has pulled away from it. Just now, past the front grandstands comes Jordan Zoke with Jody Christie in tow, and it won't be very long at all till these riders catch up to the other riders on the field. I hesitate to call them slower because they are going at such a blistering pace right now, but it pales in comparison to the kind of lap times we're seeing Zoke lay down on a regular basis. Will Hornblower now is up to 6th spot. Christopher Garvey holds on to 4th. JF Sear, big that Stefan Uhl, and JF Sear coming very close to taking the handlebars out of the hands of Will Hornblower as they headed into turn 1. Boy, I can't help but think that Jody Christie's got something up his sleeve. You know, when he won his first national championship win at Shubenacadie, Nova Scotia last year, he did exactly what he's doing right now. He followed Jordan Zoke lap after lap after lap, and then just before the end of the race, he uncorked one and stuffed it on the inside of Zoke and protected his line right to the finish line, and that may be what he has in mind on this day. Here comes Garvey now in 4th spot. And as we mentioned, he has been able to pull away from the battle between Stefan Uhl, JF Sear, and Will Hornblower. Hornblower on the Yamaha, JF Sear on the Triumph, and Stefan Uhl on the Kawasaki. Fastest lap of the day, Jordan Zoke, 45.447, which is just off his qualifying time of 45.195. So he is definitely at a very quick pace out there. As the Shaker runs in 3rd spot, and as the Shaker goes into turn 1, your race leaders Zoke and Christie are now coming onto the infield bowl once more, and they're definitely going to get into lap traffic here. There's no question about it. Garvey may stay clear of it, but most certainly JF Sear, Will Hornblower, and Stefan Uhl are going to deal with Zoke and Christie over the next little while. And this may make the difference if they get into lap traffic, and maybe Christie can get a break here and make a move towards the front. Right now, after leading the race early in this contest, Christie got passed by Zoke, now sits in second spot and seems to be pacing himself. He's certainly keeping pace with Zoke, but having said that, we have not seen him close at all on Zoke, nor have we seen him show him a wheel or make any indications that he might have a pass in mind. Into the infield once more. Now I'm going to give the nod to Stefan Uhl. I think Stefan is the man on the move now, and he seems to be closing in on Christopher Garvey. Stefan Uhl on the Kawasaki that wears the number 87. He has definitely closed on Garvey. We've got another race happening there. Hornblower and JF Sear are hooked up in a tussle, and now Garvey and Stefan Uhl, they'll come into the infield portion here first, the red bike and the black bike, and then very shortly thereafter, we will see our race leaders. Uhl has made the pass. Stefan Uhl was the man on the move. He has caught up to and passed Garvey and moved solidly into fourth spot. Now Will Hornblower and JF Sear are going to be under attack here as Zoke will come across them first. And then Christie will join the tussle. Thank you for that, Kenny. It was Trevor Daly. I was so hooked up on the 87 of Stefan Uhl, and again, my thanks to Kenny Reedman from the Triumph team for correcting me on that one. Daly on the 116 machine, having passed Garvey. And moving into fourth spot. Now, whether he can close up into lap traffic has come to Zoke and Christie. And they have caught up to Stefan Uhl and Will Hornblower. So it's Hornblower and Stefan Uhl, the 47 bike of Hornblower and the 87 of Stefan Uhl battling it out there. Picking up now on the shaker, number 24, Kawasaki mounted Sebastien Tremblay. As Trevor Daly brings the Pro Star one-speed shop in through the infield, holding on to fourth place. Christopher Garvey's in fifth, and both of those riders are very soon going to be approached by our race leader Jordan Zoke and the second place runner Jody Christie. Now, if anything, on that last lap, I think Zoke has extended his lead just ever so slightly. Christie probably getting to the point of frustration right now, having led the race and then forfeited it to Zoke, and now running in, as I say, perhaps a frustrating second place. Right now, from the announcing booth, we pick up on race leaders coming into the infield, and that is Trevor Daly and Christopher Garvey. Trevor Daly on the 116 machine, the black Pro Star Honda, and Garvey on the 71 red machine, and that being the Honda Canada sponsored CBR 1000 that he campaigns. Garvey's motorcycle, incidentally, massaged a bit by Jim Brooks for this contest. Brooks and Garvey hooking up and making a good team, and Garvey trying to give Brooks the results on the racetrack that he deserves. Now we look to the back straightaway once more. Zoke and Christie has closed. Christie has closed, no question about it. And he may have another chance here as Garvey on the 71 machine moves down and in front of Zoke, takes away the line. So now Christie is right behind Zoke, and Zoke will desperately look for a way by. Try to pass. There goes Christie. Christie moves to the inside, going into one, doesn't quite get it done. Oh my goodness. Those three riders coming out of turn 2 as one, and now heading down into the bowl. And let's not forget that Christie and Zook both, as well as Trevor Daly, all three riders are carrying the CSBK cameras, and the footage that's happening right now on the racetrack we're going to be able to see just a little later on. Meanwhile, we glance once more as the riders come in to the infield. Oh, look what's happened. Look at what has happened. Jody Christie is back in fourth place, or in second spot rather, but fourth in the running on the racetrack. Garvey, nice move by Garvey. Garvey realizing the situation. We're going down to the last lap now as Garvey realized the situation, moved over and let Jody Christie by, his fellow Honda rider, but now Christie has got a huge challenge that he's going to have to try to make up in just one circulation of this race course. And as we watch them come out onto the back straightaway right now, I think Jody Christie's chances are about as good as a snowball lasting for 5 minutes here at St. Eustache. An unfortunate turn of events. A very unfortunate turn of events. The Sunoco checkered flag now is being readied as Jordan Zook will be the first one to see it. Number 45. Number 45. That was his 45th national championship win. Wow. Zook celebrating around the race course, and he'll pick up this checkered flag and give it a ride once more. And a big stoppie by Jordan Zook. He lifts up the back wheel on that Parks Canada Express Lane Ram Truck sponsored BMW 1000 RR. Zook burning up the rubber on that Dunlop slick and celebrating his 45th national championship win. Wow. Sebastian, I'm very happy for you. Tell us about your race.
It was a first half of the race was good. It was I have people behind me, but they started crashing behind me. So after that, it was quite the lonely ride.
Jody, you came off the line very well. You had the race lead. In fact, you were tailing, and when Jordan took the lead, you were tailing him for a while. We were expecting a move, but then something happened.
Yeah, it was a really good start. We got a great launch with that Honda CBR 1000. That Dunlop tire hooked up great off that drag strip, and we got down there into the lead early. I thought that was really good. I was looking forward to a solid race, and I think we had a pretty good race up until the end. I knew lap traffic was going to come into play, and it did. Unfortunately, I was on the bad end of it today, but it's part of racing. I was able to kick back into some of my motocross skills from the old days and ride it through the grass and grab a downshift and keep it on the track. I didn't want to use the runoff and lose a bunch of time. So overall, really pleased with my team. You know, I can't give it up to them enough for all the work they've done, and it's so unfortunate that I can't repay them with the win that they deserve. I'm not giving up yet. It's just more motivation for the next rounds to come. Really looking forward to it, and happy to get out on track next. Always looking forward to the next ride.
Jordan, 45th win. Let's talk about that race. It was pretty exciting towards the end.
Yeah, you know, we took a gamble out there today and put a lot of faith in our new tires, Dunlops, by taking the soft and hoping to get the start that Jody got. And I was going to try and put a bunch of hot laps in first to see if I could break them a little bit, you know, because I knew we were going to get traffic. So I thought if I could get a little bit of a lead going into the later part of the race where the traffic was, when the soft would be going off, it wouldn't matter. So that was my plan. Unfortunately, it didn't go that way, but I guess in the end it was still perfect. But you know, he just got a great start and gapped me. I got stuck behind Archambault there, and Jody had probably a second and a half off the line. So we just put our head down and caught back up, and it was fortunate we had a good strong package this weekend and got by him on the back straightaway, And then I just tried to pace myself to save the tire because I knew now he wasn't going anywhere. And then I put my head down for the last 3 laps and put in some of our best times at the end. It was definitely interesting because it was moving around a lot. So it was fun, you know. And then I just seen an opportunity to shove it up the inside of a lap rider into corner 1, and I came out, I guess. Sometimes it goes against you, and that time it came out for me to put a little bit of time in there. And you know, Jody's a very mature, fast rider now, so you got to. I got to think of new ways every time I'm out there to try and beat him. So it's just awesome, you know, to extend our points lead some more at a track that I like. I love coming here for the little tracks we go to. It's so much fun, and it's always exciting racing. The fans get their treat around here.